So my butt's been walking past.
No, we've only just gone on. We're on the Yeti mic at the moment. So.
Okay, cool.
I want to move this.
20 seconds, guys. Are you ready?
You're the one that's not ready.
Oh, I'm not.
All right, I'm going to switch to the
Okay,
other
we
line.
are now live. It's Edge Radio Australia. It, of course, it's 1 o'clock on Monday. What can that mean? It means the greater wealth. It's happening. Derek Whittaker here beside me. Great to have you. I'm looking at you. I'm smiling. I'm happy to see you. And then the other
He's
corner,
upstaging you.
it's just this shaved down ape over there shaking his butt. And that shaved down ape, his name's Travis.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Well, you're always putting your ass in the camera, so I thought it'd be my turn.
Again, always a classy start to the show. Appreciate that very much. Now, we have got all sorts of things to talk about today, and I want to jump into it. So let's jump past the old pleasantries here. We want to talk about a bit of a conference that's going on today.
It's a big one. Did you get your press pass for this?
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Because the press can actually attend for free.
For free?
There you go, as well
Nice.
as the activists.
Oh, hang on. Don't they get charged to
Really?
attend or not? No?
Apparently,
They're
activists,
encouraging activists.
apparently the activists and the journos go in for free.
Nice.
Hang on. Which activists?
Uh,
So are they like the tree hugging hippie activists, or the ones that are actually standing up for freedoms activists?
Oh, come on.
Oh no, wait, no, we're extremists.
Extremists, come on, really. Remember, far right. If you believe in family and love
Christian
and,
values.
yeah, Christian values.
I don't think it'd be the MAGA activists, but anyway, look,
You know how funny it'd be if the whole heap of mega people rocked up.
It would be. I'm all for it.
if it was, it'd probably be fabricated, right?
Oh, true.
Of course,
That
and
would
the
never
dude-
happen, right?
And the dude with the antlers would be there as well.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well,
Apparently, he was at the Brazil protest.
so.
But someone who
Really?
looked very similar,
Right.
dressed up very similar.
No, that was Professor Augusto Zimmerman.
Was,
oh, we love Augusto. Thanks, mate. That's good. Actually, on that front, very
But
quickly.
he is Brazilian, so he's allowed to be there.
He is on that front as far as media and coverage, whatever. Yesterday actually was a 1 year anniversary since we had 70-odd thousand people at Supreme Court Gardens fighting for freedom here in Western Australia, and I find that so interesting because I think my memory, and I could be wrong, but my memory serves me correctly. I believe the ABC said up to 5,000 people, so very close, 70,000 up to 5,000, very
you
similar.
couldn't move.
No, I was on the stage, and I've never had this experience in my life before. I could not see the back of the people. There were just people for as far as my eyes could see.
Well,
And
it's funny because I tried to go to that, but I actually couldn't get in because the crowds. So where it is, it's sort of like I'm pointing to the camera for the people watching on social media. So there's stages down here, it goes up, and then it's sort of like you've got the Hay Street. I think it was Hay Street Mall or Murray Street Mall goes sideways,
Yeah.
and then you got all the balconies up the top. So all the balconies up the top were full, and the mall both ways were full.
oh yeah.
Like you just.
yeah. Well,
I personally think it was over 70,000 just because all the calculations were just in that one section.
wow.
They
wow.
don't take into account everything else.
Anyway, point being is the fact that you can always trust your ABC. I don't. These days, I reckon the journalists at the ABC probably can't even spell that. That's
Doesn't it stand
that's
for
the level we're
absolute bullcrap?
something very similar to that. Anyway, let's get it. Look, they've got the approved media here at the old Economic Forum here, the World Economic Forum.
well, it's interesting because you read through the website. I've just did a little perusal. I'm on the World Economic Forum website at the moment, and it sounds fantastic.
Does it?
The way it's sold,
they've got puppies.
it's the way it's sold to you. It sounds really, really good. And then you go, you dig a little bit deeper, and some of the topics that the way they write it up, it's really, really interesting.
Oh.
One of the critical things of reading though through is finding out what is it really, really saying. And I then you dig a bit deeper on, and so I thought I'll look at the topics that they're going to be addressing this year, the issues, the big topic things. And of course, people have always been criticizing them because this is when the billionaires come in on their corporate jets and talk about climate change. But it's interesting. It says the last time disparity featured among the top concerns was in 2013, the aftermath of the global financial crisis. Energy price volatility was among the top 10 in 2012, alongside food crisis. But the combination of societal, technological, economic, environmental, and geopolitical risks we face today is unique. Now, where it gets interesting is this. It says this line here, what they're going to be talking about. Over the next 10 years, however, lack of climate mitigation and climate adaptation lead with biodiversity loss and ecosystem collapse, viewed as one of the most rapidly deteriorating global risks over the next decade. Geoeconomic confrontation, erosion of social cohesion and societal polarization, widespread cybercrime and cyber insecurity, and large-scale involuntary migration all feature in the top 10 over the next 10 years. It's this link between climate change, technology. It's these links of these words, how they're stringing them all together. It starts to show, okay, dig deeper. Dig deeper.
You know who I think actually wrote the agenda for this whole economic forum? Greta.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've always found that technology and weather is so well linked. You know, it's just such
chemtrails all the way. Chemtrails
all the way. Hey, on the
and one of the other things. Let me just add one more thing, guys.
Please.
It's interesting that they mentioned that like nations are moving more towards fixing their own individual sovereignty.
Yes.
Right? And yet more of a global approach is required for this. And that's the push that's coming through this.
Isn't that an oxymoron? Like each of the country wants their own sovereignty, but we need a global approach for it.
I know. Crazy, isn't
it? Which wouldn't that delete the country's identity?
Oh, look, it's like being inclusive, right? I'm inclusive to everything, right? As long as you follow what I believe. Otherwise, if you don't believe what I believe, then you're being ostracized. But I believe inclusive.
So I just want to go back to something. The what was it? The forced immigration or something you were saying?
Yeah, migration. Yeah.
So what did they actually call? What was the wording they used? Because there's power in words, and the whole reason they did the whole same-sex marriage bill in Australia was they wanted to change the legal definition of marriage, so to be what they wanted.
Large-scale involuntary migration.
There you go, large-scale involuntary migration. So that means there's too many people in this country, so half of you's got to nick off and go to another country.
Yep.
Another line that I found interesting. This is the one I was looking for. Trade between default. Where is it? Oh, there's so much on this.
Sorry, I just want to bring it back. Sorry, I'm getting political here. The involuntary migration. So what that means is not that coming from the point of origin that is involuntary, is the country that's receiving the migrants is involuntary. They don't have a choice whether they accept them or not. So that's how they're going. So let's say, for example, Australia, we still have democracy, they want to totally destroy that democracy. So they'll go take a whole heap of people that will vote for the party that won't support democracy, and they take, say, 300,000-400,000 people and force them to take them every year like they did in Sweden. And then all of a sudden you end up with a Muslim governor, or what they call it in the UK, in London, the mayor of London wants to actually destroy the whole Westminster system and bring it over into Sharia law.
Yes.
So how do you change things? By forcing a country to take people who want to destroy that country?
Well, what you do is you have like what we've got here. I mean, the Socialist Labor Party, simply to get in, they simply import voters. It's that simple.
Well, that's what they've done in London.
Yeah, exactly.
So I heard now 55% of London is actually Islamic.
Whoa.
So I don't know how accurate that is. So I'd have to double check it. But that also explains why I totally forgot his name. What's the London?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I can't pronounce his name.
But and for the people who have a crack every time you talk about Labor, you call them socialists, just go have a look up the National Constitution. In objectives, first line, we are a Democrat Socialist party.
It is literally, and
they actually stated in their constitution that they're socialists.
Look at this. Third, it is necessary to strengthen and rebuild international cooperation and multilateral governments. That kind of implies that it's broken down. It has broken down. The recent overload of crisis has turned the focus of nations inwards. While national preparedness is necessary, many global risks are better or only addressed through international coordination, data sharing, and knowledge exchange, from climate change to technology governance.
Hey, look,
that kind of reveals, that's the paragraph that I was looking for. It says a lot about the agenda that's going on there.
Look, I don't know. I'm still waiting for this this ice age we were having in the 70s. Still waiting. If anyone can give me a
But
call,
you were
whatever.
around during the 70s. I wasn't.
But this is the
But it
thing.
returned over Christmas. Did you see the Ice Age hit America and Canada?
Oh, it was
over
horrendous.
Christmas
Yes,
time?
absolutely horrendous.
On a serious note, people lost lives, and it was terrible.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought you were tongue in cheek then. Okay.
No,
Go on,
I'm
go on.
serious. It was huge. It was absolutely huge.
No, America has cold snaps all the time. It's just that they're
Exactly.
reporting on it now instead of because there's an agenda. Like the world's getting hotter isn't scaring people anymore. So it's like we'll go flip it and just make people scared of the cold.
So how does the cold relate to a heating crisis? I don't know. I don't get it.
No, because the heating crisis isn't working anymore to generate the fear they need to control the population. So they're saying, oh, if heat's not working, we'll use cold. Oh, we don't have another ice age.
I'm picking apart the argument, though.
Yeah.
We've been pushing what climate's getting hotter and hotter and hotter on the planet.
Yeah, but
and yet we have that going on.
We're getting close to the next the global catastrophe. We've had the ice age. We're going to be underneath water. We're going to have global warming now. And now they're going that with the temperature is so outrageous. We're going to have more and more cyclones, more and more droughts. And even though it's getting hotter in Australia, well, it's not, but they're saying, oh, we're going to get cold snaps and more severe storms in America.
With this in mind, here's what the interesting part is,
it's
right?
Fear.
It's the fear, absolutely, but it's also been the push by these kind of agendas that says, and their argument is this, that the world is not big enough to contain the population size to sustain it. And I think that's a lie. Right? That's the whole, because then what it does, it goes, there have been arguments that I've heard on social media that have said the intent of the COVID pandemic was greater than what it's actually been, that they really were out to kill more people. Now
Doesn't that sound like a positive move?
That's a big call. That's a big call. I know it's a shock to some people, but it's a fascinating argument. That's
Some
out there.
would suggest that the current injections that are out there are working hard at clearing that problem. Let's face it. Okay, is this a slow burn? Is what's happening right now? We're having all these people die suddenly. It's a terrible thing. No one can work out what's going on. But all of a sudden, all these healthy people are dying. Is this part of
children?
Oh, exactly.
Teenagers.
You know, and when you see them literally on screen just fall to the ground, it's absolutely horrendous. Is this part of the agenda? I don't know. Look, to me.
And how many media people, mainstream media people, have collapsed on camera while reporting?
Yeah.
But it's for unknown circumstances. It's just. Yeah,
it's climate change. Of course it is.
Well, let's use the most recent one here. Elvis's daughter.
Oh, look, that's going to be
only one news group actually reported what the cause of death was.
Well, as
cardiac arrest, wasn't it?
Epoch Times.
Yeah, two of them. She had two cardiac, 2 heart attacks.
So yeah, it was Epoch Times was the only one that reported. So they didn't say she had a heart attack. She said that the ambulance was called for a suspected heart attack.
Gotcha.
So cardiac arrest. So all the rest is unknown reasons. No, they knew exactly what it was. They just didn't want to report on it.
But yeah, look, I don't want to fall into the trap of everyone who drops dead. We're going to go, oh, conspiracy, right?
True.
Because it's so easy to go down that path. But
a lot of fun too.
Yeah, you've got to have a hobby. But at the same time, exactly what you're saying. How in my life, I think in my life, how have I ever, when I've watched television, I've all these sports, I love sports, right? When have I watched people dropping dead on sports field? Never before in my life. Never before. All right. And this is where have we seen people doing news articles when they've dropped dead there on the screen? Never before.
And it's not just the drop dead, it's the ones that are passed out, the ones that are coming off with heart problems. I don't think I've seen any professional sports where someone hasn't reported each week a heart problem. Like this is going beyond a joke now.
So, I mean, we've got
they're still defending it.
World Economic Forum. Isn't it funny, though? I mean, it's all about money.
Follow
the money.
The problem is that when you start saying that the world is not big enough to sustain all of us, then you're getting into classes. You're going, who should not be here and who should be here? This is the danger of the whole argument.
I believe it was called the Hunger Games. I think, it's frightening actually. I look at Hollywood.
I thought it was World War II.
Oh, that worked very effectively. But that only took out a particular demographic.
But that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
But you look, honestly, Hollywood have been kind of putting this in our face for so many years. You look at Terminator 2, you look at and I'm not saying,
they're preppers. They're prepping us for mass genocide.
You're being warmed up. We're having the massage. Okay. It's been over.
Hide it in plain sight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, isn't that what Hollywood's about?
Hollywood's about a lot of disgusting things. And I mean, the fact that they don't seem to have any blockbusters anymore. They don't seem to have any successful movies anymore. I think that
Avatar has been successful. We've got
You know,
Avatar 2 has
you don't
been-
love this. Go find out who funds most Hollywood movies.
That'd be
CCP,
interesting.
Chinese Communist Party.
Oh, really?
Yep.
There you go.
There's a lot of finances coming from China. And that's one of the reasons why I think it's Harrison Ford who's openly spoke out against the CCP at the height of his career and then just went,
career's over.
Totally.
Do you know what I was reading the other day? It was about George Soros, right? Okay, with him and how he controls politics. So literally, he will go and put lots and lots of money behind someone who is a far left, like absolutely, their agenda is very, very left and very, very progressive. I consider it regressive, but that's my take on it.
So he funds the World Health Organization.
Spot on. Now, yes, and then but
that was tongue in cheek. I don't know if that's real or not.
But hang on, but okay. Now, then he also funds someone who's also far left, but extremist left, to actually attack the one that's, who can believe this. I'm saying this is the more conservative of the two. So he's actually feeding the system to eat itself.
Why? There's a common saying like that. The moment I started doing radio and stuff like that, so I had a former producer from Channel 7 actually teach me all the ropes. So he still doesn't want to be named because he's still got ties. He always said, if it bleeds, it leads. If there's conflict and argument and fights, it will be the headlines. It will always be there. It's one of the reasons why they love reporting on One Nation doing bad, because like people just love watching drama. It's like the crane crash. They're like, oh, they're watching it, but they're covering their face because they don't want to be seen to be watching it, but they're loving it. Like all the dramas, like the on TV, like someone's dying and it's the big dramatic shots of the face where they're like, because it gets the ratings. So if there was just some left-wing extremists ranting and raving, no one would care.
That's right.
But if there was two left-wing extremists coming to full-on blows and punchy like fisticuffs, that's not be front page on the newspaper all over the place. Absolutely. People gluing themselves to the road. I've read a report, I'm pretty sure this was on the Epoch Times as well, where during the riots in the city, when Trump was the president of America, apparently George Soros paid to have a whole heap of pallets of bricks the day before the riots to be delivered into the streets.
Now, so I don't know who paid for those bricks. That would be something I need to check up.
So the report was that it was Soros. So I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what was reported.
Well, it definitely happened. It definitely happened. I've seen video evidence from everyday reporters, people on the street who actually with their phones picked up and were recording the pallets of bricks being dropped off in the middle of those zones. That is terrifying. If you are manufacturing a riot, quite frankly,
that's a terrorist attack.
That's a terrorist attack. Spot on. And whoever organized that should be in cuffs. Why aren't they? Well, money talks.
Oh, they weren't doing renovations in the area?
No.
Like every 200 meters down the road.
So it had that whole.
They were doing brick paving.
I want to go on a tangent here. So this is kind of one for my.
Looking at all angles here.
Oh, you've got to find
it. Tangent time. Tangent time.
Tangent, yeah.
So if Soros should be done for being a terrorist for that, right? So my question is, why hasn't George W. Bush, the original one, been done for war crimes for Vietnam?
George, not W. You mean George Bush?
George Bush, the senior, first of the two, the old one. That's I think is he dead now? The one that did Vietnam War.
Passed away.
Why hasn't he been done for war crimes for the use of Agent Orange?
Okay.
Here's a question for you.
That is
anyway. So yes,
I didn't realize. Okay, so because was he Secretary of State back then?
Well, he's the leader in chief of the military.
No, he wasn't. No.
No, the US president. US president is.
Yes, you are correct. You are absolutely correct. Yeah. But you got yourself the wrong president there, man.
Oh, whichever president.
You want Nixon.
Nixon, whoever, I don't care.
Oh,
whoever authorized the use of Agent Orange.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference.
So why weren't they done for war crimes?
Where did you get the information on the CCP?
I'll get it to you. I'll send
funding Hollywood.
Oh, that's been out for ages. I'll find the report for you. So there was a big one. I think it's Harrison Ford. I could be wrong on it's either him or someone else openly spoke out against the how much the Chinese government is pumping into Hollywood to make these movies.
Sure.
Nearly every single movie that's released out of Hollywood between the late 90s, early 2000s were all funded by China.
My word. And with that, we're going to a break. How about that? It's Edge Radio Australia. We're doing the greater wealth. Hope you're having a great day. Here's some NXS.
All right, we're in our studios. I'll see if I can get the article.
Yes, please.
All right, so let me sort that out.
Theheritage.org.
Can you send that article to me?
The Atlantic. And that was in 2021. The Guardian.
Can you send it to me on Telegram? Are you able to do that?
Oh, there's heaps of them. Just Google does the CCP fund Hollywood, and all these articles come up about it.
Okay.
There's heaps of them. Bloomberg, how China used Hollywood to build the world's biggest.
Okay, there it is.
Yep. So Eric Schwarzenegger new book reveals how China censored Hollywood. So yeah. And now the companies that are financing a lot of the Hollywood side of things, from the article I read, what was happening is they're state-owned enterprises, so they're controlled by the CCP to fund. So going through a surrogate thing. So.
All right, boys, we've got a bit of a break here. So what are we coming back with? We're going to continue that line.
On the other side,
yeah.
On the flip side,
Republicans have introduced a bill to eliminate the IRS.
What?
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? We'll tell you more about later.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
They'll probably need this one.
Wow!
And that's Fox News, by the way.
Okay. Jeez, I want my green card now.
You want to go over?
Look, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, that's
CNBC's got an article about it 5 days ago. So slash funding to the IRS to repel nearly $80 billion of fraud finances. That's what was reported.
Yeah. Well,
is that the article you're using from
I'm using the Fox News
CNBC?
No, Fox News.
Speaker
So
of
this is
that.
mainstream media reporting this. This is not something
Yeah, I do. I think about it. I think all my life I've never had any interest in being going to America or Canada. Over the last few years with the rubbish that's gone on, I tell you right now, I am looking at Austin and I'm looking at Florida and I'm thinking about it. I really am, because I mean this
Austin's great. You've been?
No,
I've been
no,
to
no.
Austin.
I think I'd like the country.
It's really different. It's kind of like when I was there, it's a university type town. So
Yeah.
they think very differently from other Americans. And it kind of reminded me of that Fremantle type.
Well, yeah.
Not with the water culture, but water around, but it's that kind of alternative thinking type
Yeah.
culture.
Well, it seems exactly like there's a lot of music, a lot of artwork, and that's how I see it. And quite frankly, they seem to be keeping the premiums.
Yeah, and I mean,
Anyway,
Austin's
Texas.
line is Austin's weird. They have
Yeah.
t-shirts and lights and stuff. So
Yeah.
Hey, license. CES or SES?
S is the American spelling.
All right, we're going with the C. My spelling is terrible.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm probably the worst person in the world to ask.
Yeah. No, Gus. Thanks for listening, by the way, Gus.
Good stuff, mate.
He wanted to listen to NXS.
Well, hasn't that worked out well, mate? There you go.
Yeah, no, because what happened is
Burn for you.
you announced we were putting NXS on,
Right.
and then I cut the music because YouTube and Facebook constantly copyright strikes us, even though, as you can see running down the bottom of the screen right now,
License, but hey,
all our licenses are there, and they still copyright strike us. So YouTube and Facebook, get your shit together.
yeah.
Like,
And
seriously.
just for little side note on this one, this is the first song that actually got me my musical education. When this song came out, this is the song that taught me how much I love music. I don't know why.
You know
it's
mine
not
was?
opened me up to-
The musical awakening song, you know what mine was? Mad World by Tears of Fear.
Really?
Not the original, the cover of it. I thought,
Ah.
this was brilliant.
We played that earlier today, I think. There you go.
The original or the Tears of Fear version?
Tears for Fears.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then that was the first album I ever purchased. I stole $20 off mum to go down to the record shop, got home with it. It was like so expensive. Tapes, not things.
Yep.
And not, I wish I had more, so I wasn't old enough for that. And I got an absolute flogging.
Oh,
So, yeah.
no. I mean, I grew up with just nothing but Elvis Presley and Roy Orbison and like
Come on, the big- You've seen my guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad, for my 30th birthday, got me a Roy Orbison signature 12-string guitar, Epiphone guitar. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's good because my hands are coming good again. So I've started playing again. So, and no, I'm not good. I suck on the guitar. So
All right, we're back in 3 minutes, guys.
I thought we were back in a minute, but that's
No, I've had to do it back.
because you forgot to press stop.
No, not at all. It's just the burn for you was longer than I anticipated. Simple as that. So,
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's what funny. There's always a song. Oh, well, for me, isn't it? A song which just there's your song clicks, right?
Yeah. What about you, Derek? What was the one song as a kid that just really stuck?
Child,
teenager. And what was the album? Actually, that's the one for the people listening online. What was your album that was like, yeah, I love music? That just that touch, it gave you the goosebumps. The tears coming down. Oh my God, this is so great!
I was an artist that you guys have never heard of. Gus Leon.
never heard.
He's an opera singer. I don't know.
I really like
he sounded Italian, so he has to be opera.
I like his music. I got kind of into music through his stuff.
Okay.
His concerts, stuff like that.
And what style of music is it?
Opera.
No, it was Christian music. It was African American. It was kind of pop stuff.
Solely kind of pop?
My first, as a child, I don't know if you know Andre Crouch.
Yeah,
Andre Crouch. I interviewed him. He was my dream interview.
Wow.
9 Grammy Awards, something like that.
Yep.
Worked with Michael Jackson, Rick Astley, Madonna.
He was a producer, man, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was dyslexic and he couldn't read a note of music.
Wow.
Right.
If you think that's weird, but we know you're a Christian, so that's kind of happy. So knowing the music I listen to now,
Children's music, yes.
it's not children.
It is
Well, I've got kids, but yeah.
The Riddles.
No. It's like G Idols.
Big red car.
You hear about the Wiggles?
No. What's going on with the Wiggles?
Yeah, heard it.
No. Hang on.
Okay.
Second album.
It's coming up. I did think there was something going on with Greg. I heard that, but I don't.
There's nothing there.
Oh,
I just
really?
wanted to throw that bait out there.
No joke. There was talk about Greg getting cancelled. I'm not even kidding. I didn't know that. I've heard Greg being cancelled. Yeah, I know this much detail of it. That's why I was like, so you just said
We'll have to
there's
have a
literally
later.
something going on.
Anyway,
With
I got my wife that way. We went on this elaborate story.
Right.
One time.
40 seconds.
Telling her how Stalin had tried Putin had tried to get an audition for the Wiggles and all this sort of stuff. What lay I thought I was telling you this absolutely.
Anyway, second album, Slayer, Raining Blood, Vulgar Display of Power by Pantera. That's the music that actually got me wanting to learn to play the guitar.
There we go.
So full screamo death metal. Oh, War, Scumdogs of the Universe. Oh, still
Okay,
awesome album.
20 seconds. And where the mics are now hot, man.
Audio.
Edge Radio Australia, the greater wealth. That's what we're doing right now. Derek Whittaker right here. Over there, Travis Carter. And we talk about all sorts of things. That it's all about greater wealth, about finding your life purpose. And this often, and when I say often, generally, always, tends to cross into politics a bit. And wow, there's some big politics going on there. Yeah,
government influences economics. And economics influences interest rates. The three influence the stock market.
Yep.
So we cannot get away from it. Okay. You're going to love this.
I am ready.
This is. Yeah. Look, I could give it an analogy, but it's kind of taking it out of context. But this is like when you were a kid and you always imagined the day that they would announce that your school burnt down.
Yes.
Yeah. This is kind of one of those, right?
Yeah. Derek had the matches. Okay.
See, I grew up in Mandurah, so we always had the bomb threat.
Yeah, that's how you get out of
always waking up waiting for that news to break out that the school burnt down as a kid. And I said to my son, this is what I said. I said, listen, you haven't got it. You don't realize, where they had the lockdowns a couple of years ago. I was like, this would have been a dream for me as a kid. I don't have to go to school. This is awesome. This is up there. This is the House Republicans of the United States are to vote on a bill that will abolish the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, America's ATO, Australia Taxation Office, eliminating income tax. All right.
I've actually read one of the articles on this one. So will this actually abolish the IRS totally? Or just massively reduce their authority? It
will abolish the Internal Revenue Service, eliminate the national income tax, and replace it with a national consumption tax.
GST, perhaps?
It will get rid of. Well, this is sales taxes is in America is done by the states.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So some states in the United States are GST free. They're sales tax free.
Sure.
This will eliminate the whole thing of inheritance tax. It'll get rid of death, gift, and payroll taxes. It will replace the current tax code with a national consumption tax. They want to, instead of hiring 87,000 more IRS agents, who, of course, were reportedly going to be armed. Why would you want an IRS person armed? Yeah. This is what the Democrats were proposing, that the IRS agents would be armed, right?
Well,
that kind of shows you where the agenda was going.
It is
right?
America, so they're legally allowed to carry firearms anyway.
Yeah, but how would you feel as a taxpayer if an IRS agent rocks up armed with a revolver on their hip?
The ATO is scary enough.
No. If we're in America, no. Sorry, I got to do this one. Boom, me. So if I was in America and they rock up with a revolver, I'd be having my 50 cal cannon like sitting out the front door going, yeah, make my day, you bitch. So come on, it's America. What is it? Militia, well-formed militia has the right to bear arms.
So some are saying, instead of putting 87,000 new agents into the IRS, why don't you redirect that to more Border Patrol?
What a good idea
for America.
I love it.
So this is good. Now, where will it go? I showed this to some people and they go, it will never happen. It will never get passed. Watch this space.
I'm going to say this.
Because the fact that they're having this conversation is really, really cool. And look, let's give credit where credit was due. Who was the guy
that was the Republicans that tabled this bill?
It was Republican Jeff Duncan, his first proposal to from Georgia. Basically says,
Hey, didn't the devil go down to Georgia?
Let me verify who put it out there.
I'm going to throw this out.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Republicans have a
Carter.
Off the top of my head, bloody, it's always
Carter.
Carter. It's always trouble. The thing is, okay, if this, I believe, okay, the Republicans have got what, 10 more seats roughly, right? So they could make this happen. They could make this happen. Would it happen in 5 minutes? I can't see that. But I tell you right now, it's a bloody good bit of spin and marketing moving into this next
How many
cycle.
people would want to go and become Americans?
Mate, I'm packing my bags now.
No, so
because if they did that, can you imagine what it would do to the American economy?
Oh,
right?
Man.
You eliminate this, America, make America great again.
Yes,
the consumer confidence in the government would go through the roof. And it's really funny because if this does, so this is now getting global politics because this isn't just a minor little hiccup. This is massive because if this passes, the American people will start spending like there's no tomorrow because they don't have more money in their pocket. They're not going to get screwed over so much. Then the flow-on effects from the taxes, when everyday consumers have faith in their government, they spend money. It's a given. It's proven, and the economy blossoms. Now, the really funny thing is, I've been watching a lot about China at the moment, and they've been having constant rallies. There's people calling for, and this is the thing in China, no one actually openly criticizes the CCP because there's like this unspoken rule where we're happy to lose our freedoms as long as you give us money. And we're talking huge amounts of growth. And there's sort of like this magical number of 5%. There has to be a 5% growth. It is now under like around the 2% mark in China. So people are up in arms over this. Like apparently there's been constant protests and rallies as big as the one that at Tiananmen Square. So some biggest rallies since the 1990s. So the faith in the Chinese market, which is supposed to be the next superpower, the consumer confidence within China is dropping at a drastic rate. This bill could be the things that prevents America from losing their status as the reserve currency of the world.
Completely.
That's how big this bill is.
That is big. Exactly right.
Sorry, I was just getting full politics there.
Georgia Republican representative. I just want to give credit to who put it in there. Georgia Republican Representative Buddy Carter. Reintroduced the Fair Tax Act.
Okay. It's like,
I wonder if he's mates with Jimmy.
Oh dear.
Or Linda.
Hey, Wonder Woman. I just think this is fantastic. Right across the board because
Carter's a legend.
Geez,
move on, Travis.
Stop the self-promotion for 30 seconds. Is it possible? I don't know. Ego sometimes is a dirty word, just so you know, right? But I think this
Says the guy in the Hawaiian shirt.
I think this could invigorate the economy. Exactly what you're saying. I mean, and look, when GSC came into Australia, and a lot of people didn't understand. Look, a lot of people back then, all those years ago. And I mean, I hate tax. Everyone hates tax, right? Except if you're, obviously work for the ATO. But Okay, people didn't know that most of the items they were buying had 32% tax on it. People didn't know. And things that were considered to be essential had 22. Plus they had wholesale tax level, all that kind of carry. So
and all the rest. All the rest.
I know.
Like,
and
tax
tariffs,
rates are through the
tariffs
roof.
is ridiculous. I think they once did a study on it, and I think that literally every dollar has about 92 cents of whatever tax if you really be genuine about it, right? It's crazy. So simplifying it into a system that encourages you to spend, it feeds the economy. It gives people jobs. You know, it's just grassroots works for me anyway.
And like one of the big things is I think everyone should be treated equal. Like regardless of who you are, where you're from, and all that sort of stuff. And a consumer-based tax rate, I think, is the best way to make it equal. If you want to buy a super expensive luxury car, then you pay the same percentage as someone who's just driving a Hyundai gets.
Yep.
So if you want to go out and eat caviar on toast, that's fine. You'll pay for it. But if you want to have Vegemite on toast, then you'll pay the next to nothing, because it's fair based on how much you're spending, not how much you're earning.
The problem with the thinking, and you're absolutely right here, Travis, the problem with Australian thinking is this: it's the tall poppy syndrome. And we've talked about this before. I've heard reported in the media and this sort of stuff, you know, these people who are driving around luxury cars, you know, it's not a fair go for everyone. And my response to that is, if you want to drive a luxury car, you shouldn't be penalized for it. You should be able to. We all should be driving luxury cars. That's my perspective. If you want that,
if that's what you
if you don't want to drive a luxury car, fine, but you should have the freedom and not be penalized for doing so.
Yeah.
Because we as Australians are no longer manufacturing our own vehicles.
You should
so
hear
we don't need
mine
to
site
protect that
workers.
market. We don't.
Like a lot of the mine site workers are absolutely raging over, like, because a lot of these guys are up over 40% tax.
Of course.
They spend half the year away from home in sweltering, and we're not, when I say like sweltering hot weather, we're talking like 40 degrees plus, 70% humidity. Doesn't matter what you wear, you're stinking hot. By the time you get home, you're absolutely shagged. You're stuffed. Then you've got to put up with the wife and the kids and all that sort of stuff for 2 weeks, and then you got to get away from there and get back to the mine
They got
sites.
to put up with you.
And the amount and the mental problems, the suicide rates on the mine sites, the divorce rates on the mine sites is through the roof. So they're effectively destroying their lives to make sure they can pay the bills. Right. You know what? If they want to drive a Lexus, so be it. Let them. Yeah. So I think this is the greatest thing. Now, going back to the Democrats, I've been aging to say this. If a tax collector came to my door with a little revolver, I couldn't help myself. I have to do the Dirty Harry with a big Desert Eagle or something. Go on, punk, make my day. Like, how could you not?
Oh, gee, I'm just fun.
You'll have other people rocking up your door if you do that, Travis.
Yes, make my deductibles.
Don't they have a castle laws? As long as they're coming towards me, I'm allowed to defend my home.
I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore.
So that's what you get for watching. What is it? Special Victims Unit.
So the question I have is, what will be if the fact that this is entering into the consciousness of people is fantastic? What will be the ripple effect if, let's say hypothetically, let's say that this passes and the IRS disappears? What are the ripple effects across the world on other countries?
Well, I'm actually going to use an Australian example on that one. So what happened in Queensland, I think it was in the 80s, they abolished the death tax. So when you passed away, your inheritance stayed with your family,
as it should.
So what happened is at the time there's a death tax all across Australia. So all the retirees then all flocked to Queensland, and what was happening is all these other states were losing the taxes. They were losing money hand over fist. So then the rest of the states were forced to follow because they were losing insane amounts of taxes. So I think if America does this and shows that if they go to a consumer-based tax system, where it's a user pays sort of things, and it shows how much of a stimulus it's done to the economy, and it's really kicked China in the the short and curly. I think a lot of other countries will follow suit, or other countries will start trying to find ways to put trade sanctions on Americans to try and impact how fast they're growing. So it's going to get really, really dirty, it'll either get really, really dirty, or everyone's going to follow suit.
I reckon there's going to be a big shakeup. A big shakeup. And then it will be cleared.
Volatility is going to be amazing.
I've been saying this ages.
Opportunity.
Opportunity big time. I mean, because as an investor, you go, right, would I put money in America if it's got no tax and corporate tax?
Hell yeah.
Certainly think about it. It's one of the biggest economies in the world. It is the biggest economy in the world. No more tax there? Well, let's go start investing.
And look, but government policy, right? Okay, it does. So, I mean, let's face it shapes the way people invest. Why would you invest in Canada right now if you can get your bank accounts
frozen?
Exactly.
Why would you invest in Australia when you can get your Australian bank account?
Exactly right. You are going to go to places which give you opportunity and safety, right? And countries that are anti-freedom, all that sort of thing, are not going to give you that. So exactly right. If you're, and also with America, because it means there's what, 50 states. Is it 50?
Is it 50 or 52?
52. I think it's 52 states.
I don't know. Ask the American.
50 states.
Okay.
I thought you said seats. 50.
Oh, no, states. I don't know why I'm coming up with the extra couple of seats.
It's 52 weeks a year.
That's what it is. 50 states, right? But they have very different laws all the way across and all very different taxation. So this would give more stability as well. So I would tend to think that the trading and the business between states would also probably, I don't know, would it be more sustainable? Would it be a smoother run? If it's more,
I think so. If people are encouraged to invest in businesses in the United States, you're going to know that's going to stimulate the economy. Sure. You know that Americans are going to flock there. Investors are going to put money there.
Sure,
it's a smart move.
And the other thing that I think a lot of people aren't taking into account, there's so many subsidies at the moment going towards renewable industries, like and trying to get manufacturing, mining, and all that sort of stuff away from that. With this new tax system, because it's more of a consumer-based tax system, will those subsidies go away? And if it does, can you imagine the boost that a lot of the mining and manufacturing industries over there is going to have? How many car companies are going to come back? How many like mobile phone productions? How many computer companies? The other one is crypto mining is like because crypto. I personally, I think crypto is now cat out of the bag. There's no way you don't put it back. No. I think it was California or one of those like really lefty states banned crypto mining because of the environmental impact that having the big so that they'll have a building with like 10,000 computers in it and they're just constantly mining to earn money. So a lot of that got banned. If they're going to now a consumer-based tax system, is that going to have much of an impact on all these different little subsidiary industries as well? So I think it's nothing but a good thing, but I think a lot of the grannies are going to...
I can't see a negative. I really can't. Yeah.
So, hopefully...
it's interesting. The United States infrastructure is broken down. It needs repair, especially in places like California, right? Stuff that they built up in the 70s. They really need to replace it. What I was talking to one of my contacts over there over the weekend, a guy who lives in California, and he's very much involved with state governors. He said he was organizing a meeting with all these different governors in the US, and he noticed that he got 50 to 60 people down the list and put in the database, and he said they're all women. And then he started looking at the names and he said, there were no white males in there and all this sort of stuff. His big concern was that he was seeing this going, nobody's putting in the infrastructure that we did in the 70s where we really built it up. It's great. It's deteriorating. Nobody's replaced it. It's repairing it. It's like they just think it's going. So where the money goes for that sort of stuff, it'll be interesting. But what I think where this is moving is they're going for smaller governance, less overheads, and more rules in terms of conflicts of interest when it comes to investing in there. There's a shake-up going on in US politics again. But
the funny thing is that I love about this, and you hit that nail on the head, and I'm trying to bring this back, how does it affect Australia? So Australia has a habit of following America. And the thing is, the Republicans are now pushing the importance of a small government. Let people do them, and we just give a bit of guidance here and there. We keep things going. We get all the admin things done in the side that needs doing, like fixing up roads and making sure there's military and stuff like that.
Power grid, that stuff.
Power to the people. So what's happening is Australia is going down the path at the moment, especially under Albanese, bigger governance. The government is trying to control everything. And a lot of the smaller parties are saying, no, we need a smaller government, especially people like the Liberal Democrats, that they're doing great works around that sort of stuff. So this is a great sign. So hopefully, me personally, I think Australia should follow suit. Our tax system, the way we work, is totally different to America. So I don't think taking it word for word and bringing it to Australia is going to work. But I think having something to abolish the ATO, I just think the ATO are a bunch of pricks. So I'd just love to see them reduce as much as possible. So,
look, I just think that ultimately, if people are more free, the world is a better place. We don't need to be controlled. This is, in very simple terms, control is evil. All right. And when we see all of this control on people, we're seeing people being made smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and having said that, controlled by a much smaller group. If you have financial freedom, if you've got control of your own destiny, you're going to make better life choices.
I can tell you as a business owner, I've looked at how much tax I've had to pay over the last year, and I go, where's the profit going? It's all just going into tax. And you go, why am I taking on such risk, and why am I working to just feed it back to the tax man? And I hear a lot of businesses go that, like, what am I left over with? It's time for that shake up.
Well, in Australia too, we've got the fact that the businesses collect the GST. You know what? It's not my job to do the government's job.
Mhm.
No, I shouldn't have to work, and I shouldn't have to pay accountants and all kind of thing to worry
You know
about
what?
that
We should
issue.
start charging that ATO like accountants fees for
Should
collecting
do.
their GST.
Absolutely, we're doing
So-
their work.
By the way, we've got Courage is the Cure tuning in on the good old YouTube.
Oh, hello,
So,
Courage. Thank you very much for being part of the show.
Yep. So a bit of a shout out to them. Make sure you give their channel a like and a subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got
Especially
some
all
really
those
good
people
stuff.
on YouTube, because thanks for watching. All the likes, subscribes, and all that sort of stuff, that definitely does help with people. Now, the other thing I was just thinking about this as well. If people are heavily regulated by the government, they're like, you have to do this, you got to do that. It doesn't encourage freedom of thought. So how many great inventions have come through from someone just getting drunk and going, you know what, this might work, and then all of a sudden you got Apple computers and all that sort of stuff. So having less government interference will stimulate creativity, ability, new ideas, new industries. It will help the production and growth of society as a whole. So I think having government not messing around with things and allowing people to be humans and be creative and all that sort of stuff, I think that's a great thing. So
I agree.
The whole tax system has been wrong, and I've said it before.
Absolutely.
You get punished for doing well.
Yep.
Right. You were taught in school as children, you work hard, you do well, you'll be rewarded.
Yeah, but school also encourages you to fail.
Well, put that aside. You know what I'm saying? It's the incentive there to actually take a risk and actually do something. And as you've highlighted, to dream.
Yeah.
And this is what is exciting about it. And so I would encourage you, I mean, while you hear this stuff about World Economic Forums, that's on the extreme left. And now you see this pushback going on the other right. It's interesting to see this dynamic playing across the Atlantic that will have ramifications for the rest of the world. I've said it before, I'll say it again. There's a war going on in our world. There is a war, a fight for freedoms, a fight for sovereignty. We're seeing that in Brazil. We're seeing that in Puerto Rico now, of all places. You've mentioned it in
China.
China.
Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico. So
your American accent is hilarious.
Puerto Rico, and we saw it obviously Sri Lanka. We've seen it lots of other places.
Yeah.
This is important. This is a very exciting time. Again, this is opportunity 101, right? Okay, we've got a really great opportunity now to change our world. The most important thing we can do is not take our foot off the throttle for a second. We have momentum and we need to use it. And with that, I'm going to a song, mate. We're going to have a little break here because we're going to come back with some really exciting stuff to talk about. But right now, I'd like to dedicate a song to Justin Trudeau, rather. It's fantastic. Dude, looks like a lady.
Guess what I did? I thought you were done with the intro to the song, so I flicked over to the in-house mic, and then you go, "Edge Radio Australia," and I was like, "Ah!" So it was still cool to go onto the website, but the YouTube may not have picked it up, or there's going to be a massive like clunk in the middle where it changes from one mic to the other.
Clean it up. All right. Cool.
You know, I'm actually genuinely really excited about it, because I was thinking about it's like, you've got to have tax, but you've still got taxes, you still don't have money coming through. And if you don't remove that many ATO agents and all that sort of stuff out of the system, because you've got to remember, most of those guys are probably on 100,000 a year.
Now, when we get back, guys, how much time do we need for this next?
149. We don't need a huge one.
Which topic was it?
BlackRock.
I have to say, before I started doing finance, I just thought that was like rap rock.
So it was a music band.
No, it's a style.
Oh,
It's
right.
like, you know how, if you go look up urban charts, like 90% of them are African American, and it's all rap. So I thought it was like rappers doing rock and roll, like Nelly with Tim McCraw. You know, that country song with Nelly rapping over the top of it. So that's what I originally thought. Just shows how far I've come since doing it.
So we'll come back and we'll have 5 minutes to the end of the show, guys.
Why don't we just do one song?
Because I need to get the advertising in.
We'll just do the ad anyway, and then we'll come
You
back.
can't just come back after that
Why not?
because it's not the way it's done.
Why? So you're conforming to what everyone else is doing,
No,
Mr. Edge Radio.
Because it sounds like crap if you do it like that. Okay? And in fact, I am breaking the rules because I went to a song, and then we'll do a spot, and then we'll do another song. Whereas traditional way of doing it was we would actually go straight into the spot, then the song.
So whose fault was that?
So I'm breaking the rules because I like to break the rules.
Yeah, but you're not going to break the rule when we're on time. So it's all right. We'll just go like an hour and 20 minutes for the 1 hour show.
Exactly. And I chose a very, very short song so we can get away with it. So it's all right.
What song is it?
After this, it's got Shazam by Spider-Man, which is 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
I could have done Blackpink, Pink Venom. That's, I think, 2 minutes 13.
Which would be longer.
Yeah, that's 4 minutes worth of songs. Anyway.
Alrighty,
I've actually had a lot of fun with this show.
It's been good. It's always fun, this show.
I'm kind of wondering, do we push it out to a 2-hour show and put more politics into it?
No. Less is more.
Absolutely.
I want to talk more politics.
No, we've got, you can't say that coming, mate. That's going to be running on Monday evening, so you'll be around for that one.
No, I'll be asleep.
You'll be here.
No, I sleep from 2 till 8, remember?
So what's your bedtime?
I'm going to bed late today.
You are?
Just for Aaron. Now, I had a thought about that.
Have you started that job yet?
Tomorrow's my first shift.
So how are we going to do this?
I don't know.
Okay.
I might have to do 2 trips up here, that's all. Maybe do
I think
on
you set
Tuesday.
a little in the corner and sleep there.
Stretch out on the couch. Where are you going?
You know I'm 6'3", right? There's no way in hell I'm going. Actually, I'm not.
It's a pretty big couch.
Get your own.
Is that too bad?
Just.
Get your own. What do you call them when they roll in?
I swag. I've been talking about it. They're uncomfortable as hell.
Are they?
Yeah, I don't fit.
Swags?
Yeah.
We could put a hammock in, though. All jokes aside.
They won't be comfortable. Though.
No, you'd have to fix the aircon first. Far out, it's hot.
Oh, yeah, it's full shower.
So if there's anyone that runs an air conditioning company and they want to replace our air conditioner for free,
Oh, that would be very, very helpful.
we'll trade air conditioner for advertising slots. I said slots, not.
Yeah.
Like,
You know that we do actually have somebody in our family, so to speak.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So we'll sort of,
So why haven't you hit them up, Mr. Operations Manager?
because we've been chatting, and yes, we're talking about things. That's all I have to say about that.
By the way, the mic is on.
I know. Yeah, we
Love the Explore couple, by the way. You guys are awesome.
Yes, they are. We're having conversations, but I don't like to push people into things. I like, to
Trip them and then watch them fall and scream all the way down.
much easier. Oh, you idiot.
This show's been a lot of fun. Maybe it's too much coffee.
Too much coffee? Never too much coffee.
Blasphemy, that all the way. Why are you running? If you want to see something funny, watch Aaron run.
Shut up. Okay, seriously. You look like a praying mantis. What are you talking about?
You haven't seen me run.
Exactly.
No one's seen me run for 8 years, so.
That's a good point.
Courage is a cure. Dude looks like a lady. Lol, men don't sit like that. I still find it hilarious when you see people lady legging. Like, how the hell do you not squash your nuts?
I think you've got to. Seriously. There's nowhere for them to go.
Like, either that or they dangle that far below they're sitting on them anyway.
So they're used to it. No, I tend to think, why they can sit like
Highbrow conversations here.
Yes, I'd say because their wives have them in a bloody purse. That's why.
So just for those who didn't hear, Aaron said the guys that lady leggings because their wives got their balls in a handbag. So, and for the people listening online, if you can hear like the noise, we've got air conditioner problems, aka it just does not work.
It broke 2 days before Christmas, and we can't get parts. It's an absolute pain in the butt. So we're going to fan
and fans make noise.
Yes, they do.
Aaron's got one fan.
Oh, shivers, Regal. Got 10 seconds. Here we go.
Switch. Audio switching.
Edge Radio Australia, the greater wealth. We have almost finished the show, which is a shame because, quite frankly, we're having a lot of fun and we're having great conversations. In the meantime, to those on social media, I want to do, before we even go any further, quick shout out to a couple of people online. Courage is the Cure, like you said before, fantastic. Thank you very much. Gus, thank you for being online too. We really encourage people to be online and to send us questions, right? Okay, this is interactive. We like to know what everyone's about.
Anyway, it's really funny because Gus just come up and said, run, Travis, run. And it's like, my first thought was run DMC. And it's funny because I've got the imitation Converse also on as well, which is kind of cool.
You're a man of taste. Derek, let's get into the show.
So how many people do you think lost their jobs last year in big tech?
Ooh.
1 million.
I don't
I
know
don't
the numbers, but I'm going to probably say in big tech in
the United States.
I'm going to say 30% of the people.
Yeah.
In the game,
90,000 workers according to Crunchbase. Okay,
ooh,
now that's a big shaker. We're talking Amazon, Microsoft,
Mm-mm.
Tesla, those kind of companies. Obviously, Twitter. Yeah, although they don't have as big a workforce as
have
others.
you seen what he's just put out? 80. You have to work 80 hours a week. You don't like it, well, you're fired.
Wow,
who said that?
Elon Musk.
Now it's starting to.
Yeah.
This is what surprised me last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the gradual decline of big tech stocks. It didn't surprise me they're going down.
Yeah,
but the rate just surprised me. I thought it would be a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Got it wrong. Okay, this is what's these and what you got to realize, guys, is the tech sector is a big pool of funds in the stock market.
for sure.
So you're talking about, you know, your S&P 500 companies. If you look at where all the trading's going, it's your Netflix, your Teslas, the volume that goes through those big tech companies, Google's, is huge. Okay, Alphabet as they call it. Well, this shakeup in the tech sector is now having a ripple effect on other sectors, namely the financial sector.
Oh, of course.
BlackRock, one of the biggest investment firms in the world, has lost $1.5 trillion.
You've got to say that with your finger in the corner of your mouth.
1.5 trillion, which means that the amount of assets under management has gone from 9.5 trillion to $8 trillion. Okay.
Right.
Which is huge. Now, it was coming out earlier that a lot of the woke companies they were investing in were losing the money. All right. And this, of course, has a ripple effect. They are now planning to dismiss some 500 workers in BlackRock alone, in the investment firm. They haven't had any work cuts since about 2019 in terms of staff layoffs.
Okay.
Let me check that year. But what I find always fascinating, the whole economies of things, is the ripple effect of one action leading to another. So this is one of the things that's shaking up not just the tech sector now, but you can see how the economies of the world are now going, okay, now we've gone to the to the finance sector as well.
Okay.
So I've got a question, like a follow-up question on that.
Sure.
So is this really just the tech sector that's causing this sort of effect? Because a loss of $1.5 trillion is massive. If they're worth, say, $10 trillion, that's a 15% write-off. That's huge. I struggle, and remember, I'm not a finance guy, so you feel free to say, no, you're full of shit. I'd have to say that because of I've done a bit of research on BlackRock. They invest in a lot of things, but I've also noticed they do a lot of international investing as well. So I'm wondering, like, especially with the dramas that are going in China, the Ukraine war, I'd say they would have been heavily investing in a lot of the oil and wheat, possibly in Russia as well. With the war that's going on, they probably pulled a lot of that as well. How much of an impact, not only just on US soil, but the problem within Silicon Valley? How much of a global problem is that been for companies like BlackRock?
I'll tell you why. What are your retirement funds invested in?
I don't have one. So
if you have superannuation,
dying.
Of course you don't. If you have superannuation,
Yep.
it's handled by a managed fund.
Sure.
Right? So these big investment firms are invested in
BlackRock.
companies
Sure.
and other investment firms. And so this is how it relates to you. So when you see one of these big companies having these kind of losses, there's often a ripple effect because there's a lot of the industry works this way. They have a lot of people who have asset managers, and the asset managers, they aren't necessarily traders themselves. They don't necessarily trade the markets. The asset managers often allot funds to different investments, traders, etc. Okay, so it's you don't. I mean, do you have superannuation? Just out of interest.
Let's not talk about
this.
No,
it's a rhetorical question.
I'm happy to answer this one because I got no problems.
I'll see where I'm going.
Divorced.
Yeah. To be frank, that's where my position exactly, and then that's why I.
Well, even if you have $5 in the superannuation,
yes,
no, I've got about $3.
Yes, I have money in super, but yes, has my super been absolutely raped? Yes, it has.
What I'm saying here is this: do you know who's managing that $5 or however much it is?
My ex-wife.
No, mine's AMP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you met the traders behind that?
No, they keep taking life insurance policies out, which they will never pay on. With my motorbike accident, I tried to claim on AMP. There's a class action against AMP out there I'm a part of. So
my point is this: is right. all these people who have money in superannuation
Mhm.
have never met the traders who are managing their retirement.
Good
Oh,
point.
no. My
Really
ex-wife is the one that set it up.
There's a pattern
So
forming here.
there's a
but
reason
all
I
right.
really do not like financial planners. My ex-wife is a financial planner who set me up with an insurance policy that never paid out when I needed it. So
Interesting. Very interesting indeed.
Yep.
All right. With that, gentlemen, do we have any? We've gone time. We've actually gone over time.
Have
And I
we?
don't really care.
that's all right.
Wow.
It's the NBA
Because-
Grand Finals with Steph Curry nailing a full court 3.
What a great analogy. Mate, any last thoughts for this week?
Oh boy, where do I start? Yes.
Are we done have we confirmed next week's guest? Are we allowed to say that yet?
I've spoken to him, and as far as I know, it's all go.
In
Very
the studio?
Yeah, here in the studio. Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll let you do it, Derek. Hang on. Bring you up front and center, Derek. Who's in
Down
next
the
week?
barrel, my friend.
So you mentioned a few weeks, Travis, about the Go-Go. Well,
Cold Fusion.
Cold Fusion, a channel that is very, very popular on YouTube.
Yep.
Looks at a lot of things like business, mostly technology and how it relates to business, and also the finance world. The creator of that channel, I actually know. Met with him a number of years ago. I rang up recently after Travis mentioned it, and he's agreed to come into next week's show.
Fantastic.
And looking at
2 words. Fuck yes.
Oh, gee, is so professional.
he's
Go on.
so classy. Looking at AI and how it relates to the finance world. So I'm very excited to have Go come in.
This is
And,
really fascinating. Honestly, everybody get them on the next week's show. This is going to be just a classic.
Oh, it's going to be brilliant. And then the week after that, literally today, I got the confirmation from it. There's a Perth-based crypto. Hang on, I'm doing front and center for this one too. So there's a great Perth-based company called Good for Entrepreneurs, or the GFE. They're releasing their own token.
Yep.
It goes up for public sale. At this stage, it looks like it'll be the 2nd of February.
Right.
So
And
he's
that's not
coming.
a financial recommendation.
No.
not at all.
So the reason we've got him in is we're going to talk about the impact of FTX and what it's been like as someone who's trying to launch a token, and some of the scams that have been going around, especially on the crypto sphere, because Nigerian princes are a day of the past,
Mate,
and there's
gone.
a whole new series of new scams that are coming through at the moment. So it's going to be a really interesting show.
Let me throw something else at you. Guess what else we've got going on this crypto space? That we have actually got a new show coming on board. We are having a crypto show here on Edge because, quite frankly, I think we need some education. I certainly do. So we're going to literally have a specialist show about education in the crypto space.
Very
Very
Are we allowed to
exciting
say
stuff.
who that's going to?
No,
That's the
no.
hat that's over there,
That's
isn't
the
it?
one. Yes. Yep. So actually, yeah, why not? Go for it, my friend. Who's going to be involved in that?
I don't know the guy's actually name. I think it's Barry.
It's Brandon.
Brandon.
Yep.
No, not Let's Go Brandon, but Brandon,
No. This one's got credibility.
from
Yep.
Orange Brick Road.
Absolutely. Orange Brick Road coming on board to do a crypto show. So for me, as someone who doesn't understand it as well as you guys do, this is going to be great. And I think for so many people, we see crypto and we want to get involved. I'd like to know more. So this is great. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah. And the best thing about it, if you've got the knowledge of what's going on, you can make your own decisions on
Knowledge is
which
power,
way you
man.
want to go.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
it's awesome.
So with that, let's call it a day. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for everything today. It's been an absolute blast. We'll obviously get on with, getting organised for these 2 exciting shows coming up next couple of weeks.
You're front and center now, by the
Oh
way.
dear. Okay, there we go. That can never be good.
No pressure.
Thank you for being part of course, the Greater Wealth today. Hope you've enjoyed the show. And with that, we will see you next week.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Electric word, life, it means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else.
One of the most inappropriate shows we've done yet.
So how much of this can you actually use?
A lot of editing.
Oh.
I love it.
And we open up and go, oh, great, more editing.
I'm
thinking eventually, where's my entry point?
You know the easiest way to solve this problem as far as editing, I'll just never turn his mic on. That's it.
You know the best thing about it is though, like even with the bits where we started playing the songs, normally they'd copyright us and cut us off all the different platforms. Like, we had people the whole way through. I don't think we got pulled down. I don't think we got pulled down this week.
No way.
Well, I haven't checked my emails. Yeah, we're still online.
Cool.
I haven't checked my emails yet because I don't know how many copyright strikes we got.
Okay.
Because I still can't get over that first show. 271 copyright strikes.
Well, as I always say, if you're going to do it well.
Yeah,
And the thing is, I think there's only like 260 countries in the world or something.
so we got them all, and then some. Look, maybe who knows? The algorithms may actually now be picking up the fact that we've got a freaking license and we do everything properly.
It's only been what, 12 months?
Yeah, can't watch these things.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to pull the stream down. So the people that are still watching, thank you very much. Make sure you give a like, subscribe, and a thumbs up to EdgeRadioAustralia.com.
Absolutely, and tell your friends. And the next 2 weeks are going to be great shows. So,
and I'm done still Rove Manus. And say hi to your mum.
you know what? Do you know I've met his mum? I actually said hi because we went to school together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a couple of years younger than me.
Where is he now?
It's in Melbourne, I believe. But yeah.
It was actually really sad when his missus passed away.
It really was.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he was gutted.
Oh, of course, it's a big deal. So,
Absolutely.
no, it's funny. So I'm still friends with a lot of his family. I'll say hi to mum. No, that's not true. I haven't seen mum for ages. I'm just going on with rubbish here. Kill the feed, my friend, and let's just call it a week.
Why don't we
Thanks very much, everyone.
Call in a favour, see if you can get him on the show.
They're a bit too far right-wing extremists for him.
I'll see if I can get him. I'll ask Pop to reach out to Linda, see if we can get him on the Zoom.
Yeah, that'd be one.
You know how funny that would be?
How cool would that be?
Like, get her up in there.
Absolutely.
Just with no reason. Hey, we got Linda.
Can we get her?
You know what's something funny?
Can we get her in the outfit?
I wouldn't want her in the outfit these days. But you also talk about family members.
Yeah.
Would you really want to have a look at your family member?
No, I don't. No.
Yeah. So think about me. Yeah.
Okay. I never want to think about you.
Not in that outfit.
Get us out of here, Travis.